Welcome to the Root Cause Revolution podcast with functional and integrative nurse nutritionist and energy medicine practitioner, Audrey Christie.
Hey friends, welcome to episode 245 of the Root Cause Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Audrey, and I help you heal. Whether it is getting rid of those symptoms that just won't go away, rebalancing the body from a long-term chronic or autoimmune illness, or anything else that might pop up, I help you uncover your root cause and get rid of it for good. Today, we're talking about how to get control of your busy mind. Do you struggle with that? I feel like I hear this from everyone, and I know that I can struggle with this too. So what about you? Do you have times where your mind is racing? You can't quite seem to catch up. Maybe you sit up straight in the middle of the night, your mind starts going and you can't quiet it down. Or your schedule is just so packed full that you haven't had a quiet minute to yourself in what feels like a lifetime. Do you tend to worry about every detail on a daily basis? Either way, no matter which one it is, your brain, when this happens, is constantly on the go. So let me know, does this sound like you, right? I know I have experienced this before. Most of the time, I am really good to write it down, journal it out, and that kind of gives it a placeholder, right? But we're going to talk about some things today because this issue, as I said, is not exclusive to you. An active mind is something that everyone deals with, and some people deal with it a little bit more than others. But know this, it feels like a bad thing sometimes, like at 2 a.m. when your brain won't quit, but a busy brain isn't necessarily a bad thing. What's a bad thing is when it overtakes us and controls us instead of us controlling it, right? That's when trouble starts to creep in. So being mindful of this and practicing some tricks every day can help you to maintain control of your busy mind. And this can be particularly important on a Sunday when you are starting to get ready and prepare mentally and even physically and energetically for the week ahead. So the first one is meditation. And meditation is a really great way to calm yourself down after a stressful episode. It's the way I make my busy mind stop. It can be a good way to end cap a busy day. So in the morning and in the evening, all you have to do is sit down, sit still for just a few minutes, take some deep breaths, and keep practicing until you can allow those thoughts to flow in and then let them go and flow out. Now, it does take a while to implement something like a traditional meditation practice. Once you're able to do so, you will finally enjoy some peace. Now, if you're thinking, well, all hope is lost because I cannot do that, I have got you. There are several different ways that you can meditate that don't involve sitting still and doing all those things. One of which is a guided meditation. You can try something like Insight Timer or Headspace for that. Another one of my very favorites is a tapping meditation based on the emotional freedom technique. And it is an active meditation where you're actually tapping on different energetic meridians and making sure that you are actually releasing all of those thoughts and emotions and energies around it. So if any of those sound good, all three of those are apps. I believe they each have a free and paid version, and they're available in the Google Play Store or wherever you get your Android apps, as well as the Apple App Store. Also, I'll put in the show notes here on the app that you're listening to this podcast on, I will add the information on a free download I put together many, many years ago on meditating when you don't have time to meditate. And it gives you several different options for active meditations if sitting still and clearing your mind is not on a list of things that you feel like you can do. All right, the second way to ease a busy mind is movement. So getting any kind of movement in is a great way to reduce stress and, get beneficial exercise in the process. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be dancing in your living room. It could be yoga, which is one of my favorites. It could be taking a walk. Mindful movement tends to be the best thing here, but don't underestimate the power of also going and grinding out like a really good lifting workout as well. Any kind of movement is known to reduce stress, and it actually increases your productivity and increases your attention span, right? And we all need more of that. Now, the third thing is to avoid overstimulation. And this is really hard to do, right? We are in general are in an overstimulated environment, whether it's work or car or our phones. Everything is designed to be overstimulating and to create the need for more stimulation, right? To be addictive. So it could be that you watch a lot of TV, that you read articles on your phone, or that you're just constantly chatting with people. We are stimulated all the time. And usually this lands us in having a busier mind or to be more stressed out. So you can be mindful of cutting down technology or screen time that causes stimulation, especially on days that you feel stressed. So there are some activities that you can get involved in that don't involve technology or screen time, right? You could read a book. You could go for a walk. You could sit and match socks. I have a patient of mine that matching socks is almost therapeutic for her for some reason. To me, it sounds like torture. If you ask my family, they'd be like, Mom never matches socks, right? Now, if you can't get away from TV or screen time, then do things to help reduce the load on your brain. So you can use something like blue light blocker glasses. My favorite come from EyeBuyDirect because you can get them in prescription and put them in whatever frame you want that fits for your face. So just know that there are ways to reduce your stimulation that will lead to a reduction in that busy mind, particularly those busy minds that happen in the middle of the night. Now, this very last one, you're going to think I'm crazy, but the last one is make art. No matter how good you are at painting, drawing, or crafting, I know I am like the queen of Pinterest fails. If you can't paint or draw, you can color. But having a creative hobby is a good way for you to do some sort of mindless work. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you do some overcomplicated thing that you've never done. But most of us have colored a picture before, right? So you can go to the dollar store for actually, our dollar store is not the dollar store anymore, y'all. It is the $1.25 store, I think. But for $2.50 or less, you can go grab a coloring book and some colors and just sit and color for a little bit. If you know how to knit, that can often be a good hobby for you. But regardless of what you think your art should look like, making art helps to ease your busy mind. It's been proven in clinical and scientific studies time and time again. Regardless of what is causing your busy mind, I hope you will try one of these suggestions to help get control of your busy mind, to help yourself sleep better, to increase your productivity, reduce your stress, and increase your peace, ease, and joy. Thank you so much for listening today. Know that I am always, always rooting for you, friend, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Root Cause Revolution podcast. Be sure and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Ratings and reviews are always appreciated.